Team Affinity never expires, so even in set 6, you will still be able to earn these cards on a new account or current account. First step is going to be to do your moments. You will gain 5,000 experience in your first henchman pack. The best way to do these moments is going into your home screen and then going down to moments, and inside of this category you will find Team Affinity, and you will do each division individually without being kicked out to the main screen each time you complete a moment. Once you complete the moments, we are sticking to offline. We are going to do Team Affinity East, Team Affinity Central, and Team Affinity West showdowns. You only have to complete them once, as you only get the reward once as well. We have guides on the channel. Just click on the channel playlist section and you will see 23 Dash Showdown that will teach you how to do each and every single one. Completing these showdowns, all three, will give you 15,000 Team Affinity points per respective division, meaning the East Showdown will give you 15,000 for both the AL East and the NL East, and with that you will have 20,000 Team Affinity points, allowing you to obtain your first captain as well. Once you have opened your packs, your team should look similar to this. I went ahead and made sure that each and every single position was filled out with the player that I either needed parallel XP missions for or stat missions. Most of the golds and even the diamonds that you see here, without including 92 Rutschman and Austin Riley, are going to be PXP missions. Austin Riley and Ali Rutschman, on the other hand, have stat missions to do, and on the bench we're also going to have a third captain, and that is going to be Ian Happ. He also has stat missions. We went ahead and made sure that for the henchman missions we picked starting pitchers, because these are the most annoying PXP missions and usually the longest PXP missions to do as well. So you want to make sure you knock it out of the way early. And for the bullpen, we also went with captain PXP, or excuse me, stat missions, because these are the most annoying to do as well, especially if you plan on beating up on the CPU. Don't forget to hit that like button, red subscribe button, notification bell, aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the start of summer. Inside the description is the Twitch, Discord, social medias, and how to become a member. In regards to the closing pitchers, whenever a game is within 3 runs or the tying run comes up to hit, it will count as a save. So to make the save missions a whole lot easier for you, if you're beating up on the CPU, there is a reason we have a ton of common pitchers available to bring into the game, because we do not care about their ERA and we do not care about how they perform. So if you want to go ahead and ensure that you get a save, if you're up 5-0 in the top of the third, bring in a common pitcher, purposefully throw it right down the middle, and then avoid the baseball so the opponent has an inside the park home run. And as soon as the game is within 2, you will go ahead, take out the common pitcher, and bring in that reliever or closer that you need to either get PXP missions for or stat missions for, because a save also gives you additional PXP points. With those team builds, you're gonna go after one of the conquest maps for whichever divisions it is that you want to get the first Team Affinity diamonds. We have a Team Affinity diamonds rankings list. It's 23 Team Affinity, the playlist where you find them. You will go ahead and complete either PXP missions or stat missions as you play these stronghold games. I have a big tip. When it comes to starting pitchers, if you select your 5th best overall, the CPU will also select their 5th best overall. So I always advise to make sure that your 5th best is the one that you're looking to do PXP missions for. Here, because we got 5 PXP missions players to work for, we can put Scherzer in instantly, and as soon as Scherzer gets tired or we no longer need him for PXP missions, we would no longer start him. Instead, what we would do is we would replace him with a higher overall than Brandon Woodruff, so every pitcher goes down 1 in terms of overall. But as you parallel Max Scherzer, he most likely will go up 1 on his own and bring Mike Buccina to be the 5th best starting pitcher. Another big advice: when you are inside of a game and you have completed the PXP, or you felt like you've completed the stat missions, what you can do is, instead of quitting out, go inside your bullpen and bring in the next starting pitcher that you need PXP or stat missions for, and continue on working on that stronghold game. For hitters, it's going to be the exact same thing, but for hitters, my advice would be, regardless of whether you're playing mini seasons, play versus CPU, or conquest, you want to put the players that you have stat missions to do at the top of the list, and then you want to put all the other PXP missions that you need to complete at the bottom of the list. That way the stat missions, as soon as you complete them, especially if you complete them early on inside of the game, you can easily replace with the next guy up. So if I got the extra base hits or home runs, I'm not sure which one of the two Austin Riley has, and I'm done with that mission, I can instantly replace him with Ian Happ, and Ian Happ can start going ahead and chipping away from whatever his stat missions or PXP missions are. Similar to Showdown, when you complete a conquest map for the East, you are completing it for both the American League East as well as the National League East. That is the beauty about the Conquest and Showdown, but Conquest gives you a lot more team affinity points than Showdown, as it gives you 25k. So you would be at 45k right here, but you most likely throughout all those Conquest games finish some henchmen as well as captain stat missions. With that, that should take you up to 50,000. So now our second team build is going to feature 2 henchman packs, which are 4 additional cards, 2 golds and 2 diamonds, as well as an additional captain card. So that is an additional 92 overall that we're gonna have stat missions for. Your second team isn't going to look exactly like this because it's going to be based off your personal preference, but I went ahead and made sure that each and every single position on the team, as well as each and every single position on the bench, and each and every starter as well as bullpen arm that is non-common serves a purpose. With this second team, you're gonna have a couple of options that you can go ahead and efficiently get PXP and stat missions done with. First method to get up to 100% through completing all those henchmen and stat missions is going to be mini seasons classic mode. You're not playing the entire mini seasons classic mode. What you're going to do is you're gonna make sure you're home and you're gonna play at a stadium that has high elevation, whether it's Shieldwoods Park, Coors Field, or a created stadium. We have a guide for all of this on the channel as well. 23-stub making is the playlist that you will find it. It is the most recent video. So what we're working on here is the total base veteran gold. It is a repeatable goal that each and every time you restart your mini season classic mode, you can do once again to earn 5,000 show packs, 1,500 experience, as well as 1,000 stubs. The way I would do this is, if I'm playing home, I most likely am playing out all 3 innings. So whichever pitchers need PXP or stat missions, you want to make sure you emphasize on making them pitch all 3 innings. The idea is not to win. The only time the idea is to win is whenever you need the saves. It doesn't matter if the CPU is blowing you out. All you're trying to do is tally as many total bases as possible so you can get that PXP and stat missions out of the way. As soon as a pitcher hits that stat mission, meaning 12 strikeouts or 9 innings pitched, you want to swap him for the next starting pitcher that needs the strikeouts or innings pitched. That way you are always using your pitcher to its maximum potential. The second option could be efficient as well. The only problem is if you get that invalid roster bug, then you will have to restart that mini season regardless if you were just 1 win away from winning a championship. So that's why I don't necessarily advise to do this and instead tell you to do classic mode, because you can only play 2 to 3 games and then restart and never have to worry about encountering that bug in order to get your standard packs. But once you complete one of those Team Affinity 1 mini seasons, you will get vouchers at the end, and you can exchange these vouchers for 4,000 Team Affinity points per voucher. Second option is play versus CPU, and we already went over play versus CPU methods. It's pretty simple. If you're focusing on pitchers, you would be playing as home. That way you don't get extra at bats. What I would highly suggest here is, if you only have pitchers, you need to either do stat missions or PXP missions for, is you load up your lineup with a bunch of comments and you just bunt each and every single at bat. That way you get back to pitching a whole lot quicker. If you're throwing a shutout, as soon as the pitcher runs out of energy or you lose the game, then just go ahead and restart and rinse and repeat the process non-stop until you complete the PXP missions. If you are doing hitters and strictly hitters, then you would want to select your 5th best starting pitcher, so it's a whole lot easier for you. If you're doing stat missions, you could quit out as soon as the stat is completed in order to get progress towards Team Affinity. But if you are doing PXP missions, then you will not get PXP until your first batter has his 2nd plate appearance. Once your first batter has his 2nd plate appearance, that is when you will finally be allowed to get PXP. for quitting out of the game after the 3rd out, whether it's the top of the 1st or top of the 2nd or whichever inning it is. Simultaneously, yes, you can work on pitchers as well as hitters, but if you're gonna do that, why do it in play versus CPU when you could easily do it in mini seasons or conquest and get more bang for your buck? Last but not least is online modes. You have ranked. You can bring in team builds in order to go ahead and grind out PXP, or you can take your best players, and as long as they aren't all from one division or a select amount of divisions, you will be able to get PXP. Battle Royale is probably one of the more diverse ones because you can't select an entire division. You have to draft players, and it is very difficult to get an entire 26-man roster from one division, so you will always be working on different divisions through Battle Royale, but there is an entry fee of 1,500 stubs. And then last but not least is events. Events, you can take live series players in there, so live series team builds just like ranked, and it doesn't count towards your record, so it is a great way to practice becoming a better online player as well as grind out team PXP missions and stat missions. The true purpose of doing Team Affinity and completing it to 100% as soon as possible is, one, it's gonna give you 60 non-sellable set 1 cards that are very important towards the set 1 collection, as well as giving you 60 core cards, which can be important down the line because you never know when in set collections it won't just be set 1, but it will also be core collections, and it will give you an amazing diamond that will also be core and be a 99 overall. You never know when or if that could happen. If you did end up enjoying today's content, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the start of summer. Let's get there. Twitch, Discord, social medias, how to become a member, all of that is inside the description. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.